On today's question of faith, what's the fuss about Carlo Acutis? Hey everybody, this is Question of Faith. I am Deacon Mike Hayes. I am the Director of Young Adult Ministry in the Diocese of Cleveland.
I am Emily Ahlin, Director of Archives for the Diocese of Cleveland.
I'm Logan Feldkamp, Pastoral Minister at St. Christopher Parish in Rocky River.
Woohoo, that's a great parish.
It is a good parish, one that all three of us have had experiences at.
That's true.
These two are biased.
Not at all.
My pastor totally didn't pay me to say that.
I have been in 4 parishes here in the diocese. I am not biased at all in saying that St. Chris is awesome. Anyway.
I do like St. Christopher's.
Well, thank you. I'm on the staff at St. Chris as their parish deacon, so that's why we're saying all this to those who are uninformed. But we did get a question in saying from someone about the about-to-be canonized Carlo Acutis, and they said, so what's the big deal about this kid? They said, he was a young person who did a lot of work in basically putting together websites about Eucharistic miracles. And they said, he put all this up on the internet, and so what's the big deal about him? Why should he be a saint instead of anybody else? And so I brought the two of you in, who I know have at least somewhat of a devotion to Carlos Acutis and are planning to do some things around the canonization, and wanted to see what you would say. So what is the fuss about Carlo Acutis?
Yeah, for me, Carlo is a very ordinary young man, except in one way, and that's his extraordinary love for Jesus, particularly in the Eucharist. When you hear about the story of his life, you see that he was an extremely typical boy in the late 90s, early 2000s. He liked to play soccer. He liked to play video games. He'd play around with video animation, making websites and videos with his friends. So in all aspects of our digital age, he was a very ordinary individual, except he was the main catalyst for bringing his family back to the faith, particularly his mother, who was baptized and received the sacraments, but was never a strongly practicing Catholic. So his desire to be in the local Catholic church every time that he walked by led his mom to become a catechist and a more practicing Catholic. And so his strong devotion to Eucharist and to the local church and serving the poor was something truly extraordinary for his time.
Yeah, and one of the things I would say, it's also, we say how normal he was about, putting things up on the internet. He did this in, the turn of the century. He did this, 2000 when no one was doing anything on the internet, and that's remarkable on its own.
Or just the HTML he had to know to do it, because it's not like you have, today we have WordPress and Canva, and I'm not 100% sure when WordPress got its start, but he had to know some stuff to get all that on the internet.
Yeah, WordPress I think is about 2006, 2007, because I remember being an early adopter of that myself.
Okay, so he died in 2006. So he was doing this before WordPress then, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, even Busted Halo, which I founded, that was well before WordPress. I mean, we switched to WordPress around maybe it's 2004 now that I think about it. But we had been going for 3 years. It all runs
together.
Yeah, right, exactly. We had been going for about 3 years, and we had and we didn't know code or anything. We had to hire a group of people to do that for us. So remember this at my cause for canonization, by the way.
You got it, Deacon Mike.
Because that's going to happen. Now, Emily, you went and visited Carlo Acutis, right?
I was on the bishop's pilgrimage to Assisi, Florence, and Rome. And Assisi was the first place we visited. And so I actually got to see Carlo because it was Carlo's request that he was buried in Assisi. Even though I think he didn't live in Assisi. He was I think the tour guide said his grandparents had property there. He had been to Assisi a number of times, and that was his request. It was a beautiful place. He wanted to be buried there. And so he's even going to remain there after the canonization. That's just where he is. But he was actually born in London. Did you guys know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was born in London, and then, over there, the various countries are like states here, but he is Italian, and so they, made their way back to Italy. I don't remember where exactly he lived in Italy. I think it was somewhere in the north. Was it Milan?
I believe he lived in Milan.
I think so,
yes.
yeah. Anyways, so it's interesting, they're like, okay, we're going to take you to see, because, there's so many giants in Assisi, right? So we started with St. Francis, and then we went to go visit St. Clare. And then they're like, okay, we're going to see Carlo Acutis now. So we like walk by this elementary school. It's in this, little church off to the side, very plain church. And, I'm walking in and I'm expecting like, I don't know if anybody's ever been to the Mother Cabrini shrine in New York, but you walk into the Mother Cabrini shrine and there in the main altar is Mother Cabrini and she's just there. And that's what I was expecting in this church, but it wasn't. It was, very plain, nondescript. And then Carlo was off to the side in a see-through, what's the
plexiglass tomb?
Yeah, tomb.
Well,
That's
like
the word tomb.
Entombed altar, yeah. Right.
Yeah, an entombed altar. And you can reach out, like they have like a little bench there, and you can like sit there and like reach out and touch him. And so we were with a group of almost 100 people, so I didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. So I actually went back later to pray a holy hour, and then I went to go visit Carlo again because I was just, I have to admit, before I went to Assisi, I was kind of like, I was also kind of like, why is everybody making a big deal about this kid? But then you look at him and you're like, oh shoot, and you like think about like he was born in 1991. He's 4 years older than me. Like he's not like, he's younger than me because he died in 2006, but I mean he's not really, because we, if the resurrection is real, we never stop aging, right? That you can edit that out if that's theologically incorrect, but you never stop. Like I was like, he's like, what? I'm gonna be 30 this year, so he's 34. He's 34 years old, just in heaven, and it just hit me. I was like, oh my gosh, like a PlayStation 2 is a second-class relic. Like this is insane. I had a PlayStation 2. So it was interesting, but I think that's the way Carlo would have wanted it, right? Because his whole life was pointing us in the direction of Jesus. It wasn't like, hey, look at me, I'm Carlo, I designed a website. It was, no, look at all these Eucharistic miracles. Look at all these Eucharistic miracles, go see Jesus.
And that's one of the things with him is the goal of his website was to get people off the internet and into the church to experience Jesus the way that he did, the way that he led his family to. And the one thing that's so impactful about, I've never been to Assisi, I've never been out of the country, but seeing the pictures of him entombed in this plexiglass, he looks like a kid who'd show up to my youth group on Sunday night.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that's so powerful for me as well as for the students who I help minister to at St. Chris is like, this is a kid who looks just like them.
It's the first time I've ever seen a saint statue where, I mean, he's like all over Assisi, right? Like every shop is selling Carlo Acutis statues in various sizes, and he's always wearing a red polo shirt, jeans, and white sneakers. He's buried in jeans. He's like wearing like this like blue quarter zip, blue jeans, and then like very ordinary sneakers. And so yeah, just a saint statue where like, he's wearing things that I wear.
Yeah.
I think is really cool.
I mean, that's always the criticism that we hear from people. I say, when the Catholic Church looks at all of their heroes, you have to go back, 1,500 years to find one. Is that there's not too many modern saints. I mean, I've seen two. I mean, I've seen both Mother Teresa and John Paul II in the flesh. So, but that's about as far. When I think about who before then, not really many.
And even then, not to knock either of them, because I love both Mother Teresa and St. John Paul II is probably my favorite saint of all time. You buy a statue of St. John Paul II and he's dressed like the Pope.
Right.
Like, right, he was a Pope. And Mother Teresa is in her habit. Like,
right.
Unless I join the Missionaries of Charity, I'm not going to look like Mother Teresa. Right. But I look like I have polo shirts, I have blue jeans, I have sneakers. Sure. Carlo is a saint, and I can be too.
Yep. Carlo's pictured with a dog and a soccer ball a lot, so of course, I love dogs. So I said to Logan the other day, I said, I'm buying this statue. And he goes, why? I said, there's a dog in it. It's like Carlo Acutis had a dog? And he goes, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. I'm a dog,
Yeah, I mean, that goes to the relatability for the young people of our communities. How many of them play a sport? Carlo loved soccer. How many of them have a family pet? Carlo loved his dog.
How many of them wear a backpack to school every day, or just
exactly? He's got aviator sunglasses hanging off, the front of his polo. I mean, that's how I come into work every day in the summer. He's just such an approachable persona.
Yeah, it's great. So what are you two planning? And at St. Chris, Logan, you're the youth minister on staff, and Emily, you help them out from time to time. So what are you planning for this big canonization day?
Yeah, so we have a couple nice recipes in the cook pot over at St. Christopher. One of the things that we're preparing for next month is, so he's going to be canonized at like 2:30 in the morning on Divine Mercy Sunday. So to celebrate preemptively, because I'm not going to wake students up at 2:30 in the morning, is we're going to have, I know big bummer.
That would be much more fun.
Yes, that would be much more fun and much more taxing on the poor youth minister. So we're going to throw a vigil canonization party for Carlo Acutis, fully Acutis themed. We're going to have video game trucks there. We're going to play Mario Kart on the big 100-inch projector in our parish center. We're going to have Italian-themed catering to go along with it, photo booth, virtual reality, and then we're gonna end the night with a special Acutis-themed mass. So one of my good friends, Brandon Woods, who's a youth minister down in the Medina area, is going to be coming up to play some more modern worship music for that mass. We're going to invite the entire parish, but most importantly, our middle school and high school students, as well as their families, to come and experience this mass in a very beautiful and intimate way, which will be exciting. And Emily has a good friend who's working on something very special for that mass for us.
Yeah, so I had no idea. So I have a friend who runs a Catholic art store online. Her name's Monica Skripczek. She's the name of her store is Outpouring of Trust, and she's amazing. So her degree is in technical theater, and when she graduated from college, she just felt like the Lord was calling her to open this sacred art store. And so she's done like some other like classes and more intensive workshops since then, but she's basically self-taught and does these oil paintings and sells prints of them. I should have brought my water bottle. I've got Monica stickers all over my water bottle. She sells stickers, but she takes commissions. And so she, I had no idea until I talked to her yesterday, but Carlo is her patron, and I think has been for a number of years since he was beatified. And she had a print of him, and I've been, I don't know, Instagram algorithm figured me out, and I've been sending Logan things like, oh, we need this, oh, we need this, oh, we need this, and they're all like Acutis themed. So I saw Monica had a print, and I was like, oh, this is my friend Monica. She painted this. We need this. And Logan was like, actually, can she do a custom painting for us? And I was like, I'll reach out and ask. And so she's going to do a custom painting of Carlo Acutis that you're going to put in the sanctuary, right, for the Mass? Yeah,
for the Mass. We're looking for a nice themed image. And a lot of the art of him is AI generated, which is such a shame. So, when it comes to art being used in our churches, it's very important to me personally that, it's created with human hands and human minds. So we're very excited to get this custom commission done by Monica. It'll be an awesome feature for our Mass.
That'll be awesome. Yeah. Thank her for doing that. That's really awesome.
She is so excited. And I was like, oh my goodness, because she said that her parish, because she lives in Illinois, her parish is naming their youth room after Carlo Acutis.
Oh, very nice. That's
and so
idea.
She's painting a mural in there for them. I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to be so tired of painting Carlo Acutis. And she's like, no, I don't think I could ever get tired of painting him. And I was like, all right, then. That's great.
You keep going, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be very excited.
So we'll put a link to her work in our show notes as well. Which will be great, so you could all check out the many things that she does. She is really great. I was looking at some stuff with Logan yesterday that she's done, so she's a very talented person, so thanks for that. And, all right, on Sunday, April 27th, surprise, surprise, Bishop Malesic sent this to us this morning. There's going to be a film out about Carlo Acutis from April 27th to the 29th, and they're going to be they're actually here in our local area. It'll be as well. So Crocker Park and Mentor out in Strongsville, all the local films. So basically the Regals and the Cinemarks, I think, all have it. And so if you want to check out that, it's a great trailer, carloacutisfilm.com, and we'll put that in our show notes. And you can buy tickets right there. So if you have a youth group and you want to take them out, that'll be a great place for them to go for a little outing for the day to go see this film. It's kind of funny. Chris Stefanik is in the front of it, and he said, hey, don't let the sneakers fool you. There's nothing ordinary about this kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's produced by Mark Wall's production studio, and the trailer looks great. If you have an opportunity, check out the trailer.
Yeah, high production values. It's very good.
Yeah.
All right. And you know who has high production values? Our friends at Briefcase Marketing, who are our sponsor. And so, you know what they do, guys? Do you know about Briefcase Marketing, Logan?
Well, you would if you listen to the Question of Faith podcast.
Well, of course.
Deacon Mike and
every
Father
week,
Damien.
I know more about Briefcase Marketing than I've ever known in my entire
Well, there you
life
go.
because of the podcast.
And so what do they do?
Oh, they do marketing.
And parish websites.
Sounds
They help.
really bad,
They,
yeah.
they help you reach all the parishioners that might be falling through the cracks. They'll help with your email campaigns, your ads, your social media. Make sure your website's looking nice and clean, sleek, and modern.
That's
All
exactly
those fun
right.
things.
All the things.
They make sure you don't have scattered messaging either, that you're really getting the message to the people that you want to get your message to.
People really underestimate the importance of that, I think.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah.
And what that does is that really helps you get people to become your advocates. They start to trust you, and then they say, okay, let's these guys know what they're doing. So they will clarify your message to make sure that you attract the right audience. They'll convert visitors into donors, volunteers, parishioners, and they'll create consistency to build that trust we were talking about and to deepen your relationships with people across all of your marketing platforms. That's your email, your ads, and your social media. So visit their website, briefcase.marketing. We've got their link in the show notes. You could also text them at 308-627-1262. And our buddy Dan First, he's the man. He'll take good care of you. So briefcase.marketing.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
right. They did the Theology of the Body Cleveland website.
Yes,
I was
they
actually just on there the other day, and it does look sleek, modern, and all of the things we just said. It's really nice.
They did St. John Cantius's website, too, and I can remember that very distinctly because I remember going to it once and saying, whew, this website needs an update. And the pastor had told me that they were going to be updating their website very quickly. And then I went to it like maybe a couple weeks later, and it had already been redone. And I was like, whoa, this is different. This looks really great. So they do a good job, bottom line, right? So briefcase.marketing, Dan First will take good care of you. Church Search, our wonderful parish at St. Chris.
St. Chris, yeah, giant community of 3,300 families out in Rocky River.
Yeah, lots of young families, man. There was when we have a little summer gathering that we have every year, St. Chris weekend, and I remember looking over at one portion of our parking lot, and there were just so many young moms and dads with their kids just hanging out all day. I was like, wow, this is a parish with a bunch of young families.
Yeah, it's a miracle some weekends that Deacon Mike can get through his homily because the babies are just consistently crying and almost it almost sounds like they're mic'd up. They're so loud.
Hey, if you're not crying, you're dying. That's
Exactly.
the bottom line.
Amen.
You know.
Yeah.
I've had to learn to tune it out. It's like just keep preaching, Mike. Just keep preaching.
No, it's great. As the youth minister, I hear future members of our wonderful youth ministry.
Right.
Just 10, 11 years down the line. But no, we have great ministries.
Job
for
security.
for young, yeah, exactly. for young families, we have a very vibrant youth ministry, supportive pastors and staff, a great K-8 school, an awesome PSR program. So a parish that's very much alive and thriving.
Lots of
And a great
Baptist.
softball team.
They do,
Yes,
absolutely.
a good softball team too.
Yeah, speaking of which, so our softball team's going to be starting soon. So when are we going to start taking registrations?
Yeah,
for
I
that?
think we're aiming to have sign-ups up no later than April 1st.
Very
It's
nice.
going to be the goal.
No fooling.
No fooling with that. We're not going to push that to the 31st or to April 2nd. No, we're going to make sure those are open by April 1st, and then those will be closing May 1st. Hoping to have opening day. I think it's the weekend of June 1st. So, the way the wonderful Gregorian calendar fell for us this year worked out
Yes.
quite well. So,
Very nice. And we might add a team or two this year. We're going to see what happens.
yeah, we'll see. I think we're going to have a new one forming out of the University Circle area,
very nice.
the Holy Rosary Parish area. So, yeah, it'll be awesome.
That'll be good. So if you haven't played softball with us, you could check us out. We do have some stuff up there from last season right now on the website. So we'll put that link in the show notes. But then the registrations will be starting next week.
Yeah, it's a blast. Good way to meet new people, low pressure. You don't have to be a softball expert to come out and play.
And here on this podcast each week, we do a little softball recap every week. So we tell you the scores, we tell you who did well, and the teams will kind of get to listen to hear what happened in the various games around the league. Yeah. So check it out.
Best thing I do all year.
Absolutely.
Hands down, 100%.
And you became quite a first baseman last year, I would say.
I shook off the dust.
All right, so fourth Sunday of Lent, and here's our readings for this week. This weekend, very popular gospel reading on the prodigal son, one of my favorites. And so the part that really resonates with me, the older brother, who he's the one who works all the time, and then this brother of his, as he says, this son of yours comes back, and you killed the fatted calf for him. And he goes, you never gave me as much as a kid goat to go and have a party with my friends. And I said, I always think of the unfairness of that. I think I would resonate with that. But at the same time, the father says, your son, this brother did squander his inheritance, and I have no intention of giving it back to him. Everything I own is yours now. And so what are you complaining about? Come inside and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead and now he's alive. And so I like that. And we don't know whether the brother went in or not. They just leave it up to they just leave it out. The brother, we don't know if the brother actually went in or if he stayed in his own bitterness. And so that's sort of a call to us. Are we folks who stay in our own bitterness, or do we go inside and join the party with everybody else?
If the person in the Bible is not given a name, it's because it's you. So the brother doesn't have a name. He's just the brother. Right. So he's you. Do you go in or not?
Right.
Awesome. Yeah, I really love the responsorial psalm this week, just with Carlo Acutis on the mind. Just that first verse. His praise shall be ever in my mouth. Let my soul glory in the Lord. The lowly will hear me and be glad. Acutis was, fed by the Eucharist, and then would go out and with his family and his friends serve the poor of Milan. And if that little snippet of the responsorial psalm just doesn't perfectly capture the beauty of Acutis' life, I don't know what does.
Great. All right, so CarloAcutisFilm.com for the film. Canonization will be happening on Divine Mercy Sunday at the bright and early time of 2:30 a.m. Of course, you could watch at any time, yes. But they'll certainly have it recorded all the time. Yeah. And if you're at St. Chris, you want to join our little party. How would they do it? Just go to stchrisparish.com? Yeah,
we'll have something hopefully getting on the website later this week, stchrisparish.com, and I think the Mass is going to be at 9:15 p.m. The party's going to run for about 2 hours before that. Party's exclusively for the youth of the parish. If you're a youth from another parish, you're welcome to join us. Mass will be open to everybody.
Very nice. All right, so Logan, thanks for being here, and thanks for doing that. Emily, thanks for your good work as always.
Thank you.
And we'll see you here next time here on Question of Faith.